You type one word. Okay. You add a period, because that's what you were taught to do at the end of a sentence, and you hit send. 10 minutes later, your friend texts back, "Are you mad at me?" You sit there staring at the screen, genuinely confused. You weren't mad at all. You followed standard elementary school grammar. Yet somehow a single dot, the smallest mark on your keyboard, started a fight you never meant to have. This happens to everyone. You send something entirely neutral. It lands like a slammed door. The strange part is that you didn't choose to sound cold. That coldness was added somewhere between your thumb and their eyes. A quiet transformation occurs underneath the glass of our phone screens. Punctuation has secretly evolved, taking on an entirely new job in the modern world. To understand modern communication, we have to look past the literal words we intend to send. We need to look at how the medium of a text message actively alters our message. Let's start with a surprisingly simple study from 2016. Researchers at Binghamton University had 126 students read short exchanges. Someone sends a party invitation, and the other person replies with a single word. Okay, sure, yeah. When researchers asked readers how genuine the person seemed, text replies ending in a period were consistently rated as less sincere and colder than those without. But when shown as handwritten notes, the sincerity ratings equalized. On paper, the period's negative effect vanished completely. The period isn't inherently hostile, but moving from physical paper to a digital screen strips the mark of its grammatical status and transforms it into an emotional tone of voice. Think about how you say the word okay out loud. You can hear a warm lift at the end or a flat drop when you're tired. Your face, your posture, and the half-second pause before you answer all provide the essential layers of meaning. Now take all of that away. When you text, you strip out the physical body and leave only a signal vacuum. There is no voice, no face, no timing, just letters on a glass rectangle. Your brain still desperately wants to know what the other person really meant. So to simulate a physical voice, it promotes the visual cues left: spelling, capitalization, and punctuation. This highlights the negativity bias. Our brains fill informational gaps with the worst reasonable interpretation. A message starts in the warm, neutral zone on the sender side, but slides downward along a steep slope into the cold zone by the time it reaches the receiver. You see this happen at work. You send your manager a quick "got it" after they hand you a project. You mean received, no problem. But your manager, who is already having a stressful day, runs those two unadorned words through their own negativity bias and reads, "I'm annoyed by this extra work." Because of the signal vacuum, the default trajectory of a plain text message is always downhill. The warmth you feel in your head evaporates, and a faint chill gets added that you never actually wrote. People naturally want to fix this downhill slide. The logical reaction is to overcompensate. We pile on double exclamation points and string together question marks just to prove we're engaged and enthusiastic. But psychologists point to a habit called the fundamental attribution error. When we read a message, we tend to interpret those stacked visual cues as a permanent personality flaw of the sender, rather than a temporary reaction to a specific situation. A 2021 study tested this by having managers read work emails loaded with extra punctuation. The readers didn't view the sender as passionate or urgent. They viewed them as less competent. In a professional digital vacuum, trying to force emotional tone through excessive punctuation backfires. The very marks you reach for to seem on top of things end up quietly damaging your professional reputation instead of clarifying your intent. This brings us to a crucial shift in how we handle our phones. Texting looks and feels like the act of writing, but psychologically and biologically, it functions entirely like the act of speaking. This explains the persistent friction between generations. Older generations often treat text messages like formal written memos, where a period is transcript, where a period lands like an abrupt stop, shutting down the conversation. You can navigate this by following a few clear rules. First, on short one-word replies, let the period go. Dropping the dot keeps the digital conversation feeling open and effortless. Second, you have to explicitly type out warmth. Use an exclamation point, or type a quick haha when a joke lands. Your internal positive feelings are completely invisible to the receiver. If you don't write it down, it doesn't exist for them. Third, when you receive a text that feels sharp or cold, take a pause. Remember that the chill was likely manufactured by the medium itself and was never in the sender's hand at all. Effective texting requires treating every keystroke, space, and dot as a physical gesture. These symbols are the only tools we have to rebuild the human connection we lose when we step behind a screen.